So now we're going to bring on Josh Domingues. Josh is the founder and CEO of Flashfood. It's a mobile marketplace helping retailers reduce their food waste and feed people affordably. He founded Flashfood in 2016 after reading about the environmental effects of food waste. Flashfood rather, doubles down on using food to do good. So what does that mean? That means rescuing food that can be used to help feed those in need or unable to afford fresh and healthy food options, such as those as Flashfood provides. So let's hear more about Flashfood by welcoming Josh to the screen here. Welcome, Josh. And
Hey, Nicole, thanks for having me. And I guess to start, I feel really humbled to be in the group of people that are speaking today because both Kamala and Amanda, listening to the two of you, I was like, wow, it's just cool to be here and for everybody here to be working on what they're working on. So thanks, everyone. I'm going to tell a story about Flashfood and how we're solving things. Initially, the way that I'm going after and our company is going after this problem, food waste and food insecurity is really difficult, obviously, and is going to take a lot of stakeholders to solve so many different ways. We thought that we would focus specifically on the grocer and helping them create a revenue stream so that we can save people money and also reduce food waste at the store level. So my name's Josh. I'm the founder and CEO of Flashfood. And Nicole, if you could just hit next slide. So 30 to 40% of food produced around the world goes to waste. Crazy stat is when food gets thrown out, usually it ends up in a landfill, gets covered by other garbage. When it rots, doesn't have oxygen, and that produces methane gas. So the statistic is if international food waste were a country, it'd be the third leading cause of greenhouse gas emission behind the US and China. When I learned that, I wanted to zero in on grocery. And the average grocery store in North America throws out between $5,000 and $10,000 worth of food a day. And it's usually 3 days to sometimes weeks before the sell by date. And the issue is not just the retailer based, it's also consumers. When we go grocery shopping, we're reaching at the back for whatever has the longest shelf life, and the near dated stuff moves to the front. So what that does is it means we don't pick it. So the grocer has to pull it off in advance. And it's just this really difficult problem to solve. If you want to donate all that food, who picks it up? Who drops it off? Who pays the price? Who guarantees the safety? Really, really difficult. So the idea that we had, and if you want to hit next slide, Nicole, is if there's a way for the store to mark the price of the food down, send me a notification to my phone, I could see it through my phone, pay through my phone, and pick it up in the store that same day. People would shop like that all the time. And that's basically what we built. We took the discount food rack, made it look sexy, put it on your cell phone. So next slide, Nicole. And the way that that works is the grocer, instead of scanning that product and bringing it to the back and throwing it out or whatever they're going to do with it, usually it's stuff that gets thrown out because it's fresh food that doesn't have a lot of shelf life. Instead of throwing it out, they scan it into our app and they leave it in our Flashfood fridge right beside customer service. We send a notification out to our users. They see the deal through their phone, pay through their phone, and they come pick the food up that day at the store. And the discount is usually in and around 50% off. And then to give people an idea, the tech stack, it's a native iOS, we use Swift, and on Android, we're using Kotlin and Java, and then the back end is in Node.js. Next slide. And why this is so important of a solution is because we're targeting specifically the grocer. So we have to create value for the grocer. And to date, we've sold over 80% of all the food they make available that they would have otherwise thrown out. The average basket size is about $10 to $15 on discounted stuff through us. And when they get to the store, these consumers are spending $20 or $30 on full price food when they're at the store, which benefits the grocer. And then what's important from an environmental perspective is we've helped grocers reduce over 15 million pounds of food waste from landfill now alone, and that number's growing quickly. Next slide. So I'm based in Toronto. We're a Canadian company. We've rolled out across Canada, and now where we're at in our growth is we're scaling across northeastern states in America. So Myers coming on board and rolling out, Spartan Nash, Tops, Giant Eagle's going to come online. Like we're now just starting to add different partners across America. But to give you an idea, with just one partner, we went from 10 stores to over 400 stores in the span of a year and sold over 80% of the food that they were going to throw out and drove in about 30% net new customers. So the value prop for us to the grocer is we're creating this new revenue stream for you. And then from the consumer side, we're helping them save over 50% on their groceries. And next slide, Nicole. This is some of our scale, some of our partners. Next slide. The most meaningful thing about what we're doing now, like I said at the start, we're solving food waste in different ways, solving food insecurity in different ways. What's been really impactful for us is our main shoppers, typically young mothers with young families. And if you took our top customer and you looked at their savings on a yearly basis, these people are saving tens of thousands of dollars on their groceries. So we solve the food waste problem specifically with grocers and give a value prop to consumers to save money for stores that they were going to go to. Certainly not the only solution, certainly probably not the biggest that we have right now. But as we build out the marketplace, we're looking to actively add on not for profits, food pantries. Like there's a way to make this work as we continue to scale. And I'm happy to talk about that at the end when we get questions. That's it for me. Really appreciate being here. I think that this is amazing. For everybody on the call, thank you for the work you're doing because these problems are so difficult and so important to solve.